We're going to be ranking which modifications are going to give you the best bang for the buck for reducing the weight on your Mustang. Sure, you could rip out your whole interior, but then you've got a tin can and that's not much fun to drive. Now you can spend thousands of dollars on carbon fiber that saves weight and also looks really good, but which one is going to save you the most weight? Plus, parts you didn't even know can save weight on your Mustang, whether it's for street, track, or the drag strip. Okay, now with so many areas you can focus on for weight reduction, what area should you focus on first? Well, we like to start with the free stuff. That's right, your spare tire inflator. Even your engine cover weighs several pounds. Those are things that you can remove that are going to save weight instantly. And if you're drag racing your vehicle, your strut tower brace, well, that weighs 7 pounds. So you've already got over 10 pounds between the engine cover and the strut tower brace, and that didn't cost you anything. So what are some of the areas that's not going to break the bank, but it's going to save you a bunch of weight? One of the first things we like to do in all of our cars is put a lightweight battery in. Now, you can go online and get some really good lithium batteries, and they're going to be pretty expensive. We take the other approach. We call it Napa, and we typically get what's considered an ATV or a snowmobile battery. It's not super expensive. You're looking at about 150 bucks, but you're going to save 30 pounds. And it's right there at the front of the Mustang, and that is where a lot of the weight is. Another key component is a rear seat delete. Let's face it, as these Mustangs have gotten newer, they've actually shrunk the back seat. There's a lot more room in the back of my Fox body than a new S550 or S650 Mustang. So unless you got small kids, you're not putting a grown adult back there. A rear seat delete can save you up to 40 pounds by removing those seats, having a nice carpeted panel in there, so something that still looks good, doesn't look like a tin can, but it is going to save you roughly about 40 pounds. The other thing with sticking with the interior, and we mentioned this back with the white HPDE car, is you could do lightweight seats. Now, a lot of times you go to the track, you pull out the passenger seat. Okay, well, that's going to save you weight. But 2 Corbeau seats actually weigh the same as 1 factory seat. So you can run 2 Corbeau seats, and it's the same as basically running your Mustang without the passenger seat. Now there's some other lighter weight options out there like Kirky, but they're not going to ultimately be as comfortable as, say, a Corbeau seat. One of the areas that can actually save you the most is with your brakes. Now this is a gray area. If you've got a car that you like to take out to the road course or autocross course, you're not going to put a set of drag brakes on the car. Now the factory brakes are great and the drag brakes are good for a street-driven car, but they're not going to give you the performance of a big Brembo brake caliper. But the amount of weight that you can save is tremendous. You're looking at over 120 pounds, and a lot of that being rotating mass. By going to a smaller diameter rotor with an aluminum hat and a small aluminum caliper, you can save a lot with the front and rear brakes. Now you're going to save more in the front than you are the rear, but like I said, with some good brake pads like the Hawk DCT 30s that we recommend, you still have very good stopping power for something that you still take out on the street. So now if you're into the road racing aspect, you don't want to put a drag racing setup on your car. But we do sell 2-piece brake rotors that have the aluminum center hat, and they will save you 19 pounds doing all 4 brake rotors with our lightweight 2-piece design. So got the car, you like to go to the track, that is an excellent option, is our Steeda 2-piece brake rotors. Now, another thing that is going to help all sorts of cars is front and rear bumper bars. The factory ones are tremendously oversized and they're heavy. Adding a Steeda front and rear bumper bar is going to save you over 12 pounds. So that's a good amount of weight, once again, in the front and the back. And we do have those bumper bars available for Fox bodies and S197s as well. Another area to look at is your wheels. Obviously, if you're a drag racer, you're gonna have a drag pack on the car. And those are usually lightweight aluminum wheels from Billet Specialties, Weld, things like that. That's gonna save you a bunch of weight and rotating mass. But what about for you track guys, the ones that like to go out there and carve up those corners? The Steeda Trident wheels are actually 6 pounds lighter per wheel than factory Dark Horse wheels. That's 24 pounds total when you add up all the wheels, once again, rotating mass. And they save even more over a set of performance pack wheels. You're looking at roughly 33 pounds. Once again, rotating mass, something simple. It's gonna change the aesthetics, the look of your Mustang, but it's gonna save you weight as well. Also, there's tremendous amount of forged offerings out there on the market. Those will typically be even lighter to save you additional weight. So let's not stop there. Let's dive right into our front K-member. Front K-member can save you up to 30 pounds, whether it's the drag race version or the road race version. Let's face it, we made two different ones for a reason. The road race one is going to be extra gusseted to handle the demands of cornering and hard braking. The drag racing one, we can get away from some of that because it's used for straight line acceleration. The beauty of it is all the savings is going to be right there on the front of your Mustang. It's actually going to help the weight balance tremendously. As we know, Mustangs weigh more in the front than they do the rear. So anytime you can take weight off the front, you're going to help the weight distribution, which not only makes for a better handling car, but a better hooking car as well. And if you're a street car guy, that road race K-member is something that we have tested for years on the street without any issues. So it's not just a race only part. You gotta go drag racing, you gotta go road racing. You can put that on your street car. And like I said, it's one of those things, it's underneath. Nobody even knows it, but you saved a good amount of weight. Now, certain things that you can see on your car. Everybody loves our Anderson Composites hoods and our rear deck lids. But how much weight do those really save? We've seen 14 pounds worth of weight savings on the hood and 11 pounds with the rear deck lid. Not earth-shattering numbers, but once again, that's 25 pounds. And it's something that from an aesthetic standpoint is gonna make your car look better. It's gonna make it look more aggressive. So Anderson Composites is known for their high quality carbon fiber that not only the fit and finish is excellent, but their weight savings is typically better than some of those other offerings on the market. Going back underneath the car, your drive shaft. Everybody knows the two-piece factory drive shaft is a tank. Well, an aftermarket aluminum or carbon fiber drive shaft can save you between 9 and 10 pounds. Once again, rotating mass. Every time you try to accelerate your vehicle, you have to spin the drive shaft in order to spin the rear wheels. So taking 8 to 10 pounds worth of mass out of that is not only going to give you better throttle response, but it's going to give you quicker acceleration as well. And sticking underneath the car, catback exhaust. It's one of the first things anybody does to their Mustang. They want to make it sound better, more aggressive. Well, because catback systems are designed for higher flow, they've got less internal baffles inside the mufflers. All said and done, you're looking at a weight savings between typically 6 and 8 pounds just by adding on a catback exhaust system. Now say you don't want to change your catback exhaust because kits nowadays are very expensive. Well, you can add one of our resonator pipes, H-pipe or X-pipe, and it's going to save the same amount of weight as that catback exhaust. You're looking at 8 pounds with our resonator pipe delete, and not only that, it's going to make your Mustang sound incredible. Let's talk about some of those other modifications that you can do that are going to help you save weight. Maybe some of the tips and tricks. Windshield washer fluid. You can actually drain that, and once again, that is water at the nose of your Mustang. Drain that to save another 6 to 7 pounds. There's factory bracing in the engine bay. We call it the K-brace. You can remove your K-brace to save over 10 pounds out of your car. So the beauty of all the parts we just mentioned are, it's not gonna ruin your car. You're just taking weight. In fact, the only thing that might change your comfort level is the Corbeau seats, and for your driving, possibly the drag brakes, depending on how you drive your car on the street. So these are all things that are gonna make your wife happy when you still go to dinner on Friday nights. You're not gonna have a tin can. It's not gonna be gutted. It's not gonna be rattling and shaking. Now, if that's more your style, I like it. We're gonna dive into some more of the hardcore parts for you right now. First one coming to mind is a Flaming River steering rack. Front of the vehicle, and it's going to save you 19 pounds. But you really need to have a drag pack on your vehicle to run the manual steering rack because your effort is increased tremendously trying to turn the wheel. But it was one of those key components we had on that 2018 Steeda Silver Bullet. Now you can even go to titanium lug nuts. Make sure you remove your floor mats. You have window options from Optic Armor that save over 20 pounds with the front and the rear glass. But once again, this is gonna limit you to some classes. They scratch relatively easy, and it's not as easy to see out of as your factory glass windows. Not to mention, if you've got an 18 Mustang, your antenna is built into that back window. So when you remove it, you can't really listen to the radio. Another cool trick from Anderson Composites is their lightweight doors. So we talked about the hood saving 14 pounds and the deck lid saving roughly 11. You wanna know how much the doors save? You're looking at 29 pounds a piece. That's right, 60 pounds, 58 pounds with both doors on the car. But once again, it's gonna take away from some of the streetability of the car. They're very lightweight. They don't have crash bars in them, but it is something that you can add when you're really serious about getting your car on a diet. So hopefully this video helps shed a little light on areas where you can reduce the weight of your Mustang without ruining all the nice creature comforts that the new ones have for us. But keep in mind, this isn't just about the S650 and the S550. All of these mods have been being done for decades. So whether it's your S197 or your Fox body, you can still follow this same game plan to reduce the weight and increase the performance of those vehicles as well. So what modification are you gonna do first to save weight on your Mustang? Drop us a line and let us know. Hit like, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and remember, Steeda, where speed matters.